I don't know if this ever happens to anyone else, but like there are times where I plan something in my head. I even, arrange the way I would say certain things, just arrange everything. And then it gets to the point of execution and I draw a blank. It happens to me almost every time I sit down to record a podcast episode. It's probably annoying. I mean, I take notes and everything, but like there are times I have arranged it in my head. Oh, this is how I'm going to say something. This is how I'm going to start. This is how I'm going to finish. Oh well, it doesn't always work out as nicely as I arrange it in my head. So yeah, I'm currently there right now. And that's why I'm starting like this. But let's not be like I'm rude, because I'm sure the Yoruba people amongst my listeners are already like, just get no greet us. How rude. Hi. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good midnight. I think I said good midnight in the last episode, and I don't know. It's actually a really weird thing to say. But yeah, it doesn't matter. Hi, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're good. I hope you're fine. I hope you're happy. I'm actually like quite giddy with joy today, because since last night actually I've just like been really happy. I say last night because I've not slept, so it just feels like a long day that I'm currently in. But yeah, I've just like been really joyful. God is really good. I'm just so happy. Just many things are good and I'm just so glad. This is so weird. But yeah, and it's funny and a little bit quite ironic that I've had a pretty tough week. And what I want to talk about is stemming from the fact that I've had a tough week. But I'm currently in a really good mood and I'm just not very sure how I can articulate everything that I want to say, which is supposed to be solemn, by the way, based on my good mood. But yeah, if I say serious things in a relatively jokey manner, I don't think there's a word like jokey, but there should be a word like jokey. Anyways, if I say serious things in a funny manner, I'm very funny, and it doesn't really matter if you disagree. Argue with your keyboard. So if I say serious things in a funny manner, just accept it, and I hope like this episode blesses you, or just encourages you, or just anything you. So I had a tough week, and I think on Friday, today's Sunday by the way, on Friday I was thinking about what happened during the week and why I had a tough week. And I was just thinking and going over the days, and I was just thinking about everything, and I came to certain conclusions that was necessary. So for example, this week I was this week something like relatively interesting happened, and I don't think I dealt with it in the best way possible. So like before the week started, I had already told myself, I'm going to like be a good person with regards to this situation. I'm going to not go bonkers. I'm going to be understanding. I'm going to be a lot of things. And so what happened and what I realized when I was thinking through everything on Friday was that my decision to do all of that, yeah, it was good and it was cute and everything. But what happened in retrospect throughout the week was that I was in denial. So this thing that happened, it wasn't easy on me. It did affect me relatively. But my decision to just like be good and be chill and everything made me deny the fact that it wasn't easy on me. And the resultant effect of that was that I was sad kind of throughout the week. So yeah, I said all of that to say that this thing of this, I think it's a journey. I don't think it's a journey, but I think it's something that I've learned how to do, to sit down with experiences and with my thoughts and things that go on in my mind. That's my thoughts. To sit down with these things and just like churn them around like a washing machine and try to figure out the why behind things. So I don't believe that I don't believe that things just occur out of the blue. I think there's always a why. I think there's always, a reason why. It may not be black and white. It may not be, oh yes, there's a specific reason why. But 99.9% of the time, there's a reason why. So like there's some things that would happen, and I have learned how to ask myself questions. So why did I react to this thing in this certain way? Did it open a former wound? Did it touch an insecurity? Did it just ask myself questions and figure out why? And I think it helps. What it does for me, it kind of keeps me grounded. So like, for example, and I'm using everything that happened this week as a case study, because that's just as a case study. And so, for example, when I thought about this entire thing on Friday and all, I was able to come to a conclusion as to, okay, this was the reason why I had a bad week. Okay, what can I do to, like, what's the way forward? So yes, I had a bad week. I am currently, well, this is the end of the week, but I'm still like in that bad space kind of thing. So what can I do to feel better and everything? And so I knew that I had to speak about my feelings. I had to talk about it. I had to just walk through it with, my person. And yeah, I truly believe that if I wasn't able to come to that point of, okay, this is what happened, this is why I felt this way, blah 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 blah, I wouldn't have been able to sit down and actually like talk about it, that kind of thing, and and feel better afterwards, that kind of thing. And so yeah, I mean, the arranged word for this is self-awareness, I think. I'm not sure, to be honest. It's probably self-awareness, or it's probably not self-awareness. It's probably just like being attuned, being in tune. I don't know why I went for attuned. That's a weird, I don't know if that's a word. But yeah, being in tune with your person, with your spirit, I guess. Is that, yeah. But just being in tune with you, I think that's something that everybody needs. Oh my God. I think it's something that everybody needs, because we have people that are walking around just like doing anyhow simply because they have refused to realize certain things about themselves. We have people that are carrying childhood trauma on their head, not realizing that it's childhood trauma, but like letting that, and that's, it affects everything else. It's the childhood trauma that is causing you to react in certain ways, and you don't know that. If you don't know, then you would not know that you need to see a therapist, or sometimes probably need deliverance. I'm joking. But yeah, it's just like we have way too many people going around being absolutely unaware of certain things that make them tick, and I don't think that's okay. I also think that as people who are believers, my God, it is absolutely so necessary to just be conscious of ourselves. So I'm just going to speak about that more because I feel like that's where it all boils down to that. So I think that as people that are growing, and yes, growing in God, but like I feel like just growing generally, because like God will not have you be in one place. There's always so much more that He has for you, and we're like usually just steps away, actions away, whatever away from the life that God has for us. And so I think that like in the process of your growth, in the process of just walking towards God's plans for you, it is usually very necessary to be aware of the things that need changing, be aware of the things that need to be fixed. Be aware of the strengths that you have and the weaknesses you have. Say, for example, personally, I realized it a little bit early that prayer did not come very easy to me, and oh my God, that's a little bit vulnerable. I don't know if, but anyways, I realized it relatively early, and this is one of the things I'm talking about. So like, I was able to just ask myself questions. Okay, why does prayer not come easy to me? I mean, obviously prayer is labor, but I just felt like for me it was just a lot harder. Like, I can study the Bible, because I love reading, so I can read the Bible, I can ask questions and everything, but prayer was like just relatively not very easy for me. And so I sat down and I asked myself, what's going on? Why? Is there a reason? Is there a root reason and everything? And I actually did trace it back to something. I won't say it's a childhood trauma, but just something that has always been there that you don't realize it, but it seeps into every single other aspect of your life, that kind of thing. And so now from then on till now, I'm more aware of the fact that this is something that I am quite vulnerable in, and so I can always like come to God and say, oh, I need help with this, or just be more vulnerable about the fact that this is something that I struggle with. And the reason why I can do that is because I know in the first place, you get. And so like, in the journey of our growth, in our relationship with God, and in just being better, like walking towards the person that God actually created us to be, I think that it will always be necessary for us to take our thoughts and our experiences, our actions, just everything about ourselves, and churn it in the washing machine of our hearts, in the washing machine of our minds. Ask yourself questions, provide answers, pray about it, ask God, just stuff like that. And of course, you have to compare the answers with the truth about who God has called you, and then see, oh, this is where this is lacking. So let me explain that properly. So say, for example, God has said, oh, I have not given you the spirit of fear, but of love and of power and of a sound mind. And so if you are able to realize that, anxiety and fear is something that you struggle with, if you sit down with certain things that have happened in your life, and you saw how you reacted anxiously, or how like you experienced so much fear in that season, then you can compare it with, okay, what has God said? How am I supposed to be actually? Is this fear and anxiousness that I'm experiencing okay? If it's not okay, then we can come to God with that problem, with that frailty, and say, oh, I found out that this is an issue. I need your help. I need your help with getting better, with walking in your peace, and just, you get what I'm saying? Yeah. And so I think that, I just really think that it's important. I think that's something that keeps on helping me in my life. There's something I usually used to say, probably since like secondary school. I used to say, if you ask me what happened to me and I say nothing, because then I was actually it's in secondary school. Then I was very I was much more closed up. Not closed up as in, now I'm closed up in the sense of I know who to open up to. I don't open up to people that I don't need to open up to. But then I was just like, bro, I'm a hard guy. I don't speak to people about vulnerabilities and shit like that, because, oh my God, I just used a swear word. I'm so sorry, guys. You know that I don't use swear words often. But shit, like that expression of shit like that is something that I need to get out of my mouth. It's just crazy. Okay, crazy is a swear word. But yeah, when you say it's just crazy, it's not a swear word, right? You guys, sorry. So what was I saying? So yeah, then I was just like very closed off. Do you know I can't remember what I was saying? I need to take a break and remember. I'll be back in a few. Just calm down for the advertisement. Oh my God. So yes, I used to tell myself, if you ask me something, like if you ask me, oh, what's wrong with me, and I say nothing, I know that I'm lying. And you can you can say, oh yeah, nothing is wrong with you, but deep down I know what is wrong with me. I don't know if that makes sense, but like I just always knew that this is I'm not one of those people that I would say, I don't know what's wrong with me, I'm just like in a bad mood. No. No, because I think that even apart from like knowing God and knowing like certain things that I know now, I think then it was just like my attribute of being observant. I was very observant about things around me, but I think I was also more observant about my person, like who I am truly inside, that kind of thing. I sound like I don't know what I sound like, but I sound interesting. Anyways, so yeah, I think it's just like my observant nature, and so I was very, I would ask myself, or I would just like know. I would just know. I did not like to be confused about things that were wrong with me. So if I figure out that I'm currently in a bad mood, and then so I would just like do a rewind. Okay, what has happened during the day? Who did I meet? Who spoke to me? What did they say? And certain things like that. Same thing happened. I think it happened last night. So something happened, and this is probably, let me just give the gist, because gist is always nice. So I was with one of my friends at work, my co-workers. I was with one of my co-workers. I was with one of my co-workers. Yeah, I think one of my co-workers is correct. God, English. So I was with her. And then someone came, our manager actually came, and he said hi to her. He said hi, and then she replied hi. And I was there at the back, and then he didn't greet me. And okay, no, he didn't see me at first. Yeah, he didn't see me at first. And then when we came out, he saw me, and he didn't greet me the same way he greeted her. And so I felt weird. Yeah. And like I said before, I've been like happy like since last night. And so for some time during the night, I was ruminating on that. I don't know if ruminating is the correct word, but I was thinking about, it's not like, no, that's not it. So I felt the whole, he didn't greet me, and I started to feel weird. I started to like overthink it. Maybe he doesn't like me. And I know that's, oh my God, I don't know. I feel like I've been saying like interestingly vulnerable things without even thinking, and it's just I don't know what's going on with me. I think it's because I'm happy. Anyways, so yeah, I started to overthink it and everything, and I felt like a drop in my mood. And so I took a pause, and I was like, why do I feel a little bit sad now? And so I backtracked, and I remembered that that was what happened. And I just like thought about the overthinking that I was currently overthinking, and I was like, oh yeah, that's why, and everything. I didn't go as far as saying, why do I feel that way? Why do I feel like he doesn't like me and everything? Because I know the reason, so I didn't even bother. But I was just like, bro, it doesn't matter. Like whatever, like it doesn't really matter right now. I don't want to care. I don't care. And so I was like able to just push it out of my mind. Or I think I was just too happy to let the sadness overwhelm me. I don't know if that makes sense. So yeah, just like backtracking. How many minutes is this episode? Oh, interesting. Just 90 minutes. Yay. So just like backtracking and thinking about certain things that have happened during the day and just thinking about it. I think it always helps to make you search your hearts, search and see, what could have made me feel this way, or what made me happy today. How can I do that how can I sustain that, or what structure, just like all of that. I think it also make your life easier to have like that kind of system running in your mind. The reason why I think it's make your life easier is because there are many things that you would be able to approach from a wiser perspective. And I say wiser because, like, when you know certain things about yourself, say for example, if you have a presentation at work and you know that you're the kind of person that if you're speaking to somebody and they look like they're not visibly listening, it affects you. So I'm that kind of person, actually. If I'm speaking to somebody and I can tell from your face that your mind is somewhere else. I mean, I can usually tell. It affects me, and most times I'll just stop and wait for you to come back to me. And so, yeah, if you're somebody like that, at your presentation, you would want to be conscious of that. Probably like look for a way to center yourself before you go in there, because like you don't want to now be stopping in the midst of a presentation because your manager is giving you bad eye or something like that, or because your manager is not listening. You can't do that. You can't stop and be like, bro, listen to me, that kind of thing. So if you're aware of that, your character that's I can't pronounce that. If you're aware of that trait about you, then you can act wisely. You can either decide not to wear your glasses through the period of your presentation till you're done. Why did I just do that? Why did I just say that? I mean, that's something I would do, but then again, I don't think it's very wise, because you might need to, like, anyways, I don't want to go down the road of my brain my thought process right now. But yeah, you can like just figure out something that you can do that would keep you steady during your presentation, because it's important that you present it and you present it well. You get that kind of thing. So I think it just helps you approach life wisely. My God. Anyways, then also I think it's just so important for growth, and yes, for partnering with God to become the person that He wants to, mold you into being. And just like that entire process of walking with God and partnering with God is always an entire journey of growing, an entire journey of being better, of being pruned, of just everything that you can think of. Or let's use the example of a potter and a pot. That entire process of molding the pot into what he has in mind as the potter, that entire process, you can akin it to what God does with us. And so that whole process, you would need to be aware of certain things, because if you're not aware, there are certain things that God will, there are certain seasons that God will be taking you through, and you will be resisting throughout the entire season because you have not realized that this is something that you need working on. Like, this is something that you need God to work on. There are certain experiences that you would have that you would not learn from it because you have not realized that, I need to learn this thing. Say, for example, I think throughout last year, I was in such a season of needing to trust God, to rely on Him on a lot of things, a lot. And the reason why I was saying for the most of it, let me not say I was saying throughout, but yeah, the reason why I was saying for the most of it was because I knew that I needed to trust God. I knew that it was something that, it was a strength that God needed to build in me, just something that I needed to learn. And it was easier to know that kind of thing, to know that, yes, this is a place I'm supposed to be in right now. And just last night I actually heard someone speak about this, and my God, you guys, anyways, that's the next podcast. But yeah, I heard someone speak about it, and she was saying how there are many times in different seasons of our lives that we declare and we say things that God is not doing in that season. And just being aware of certain things will help you be in line with God. And of course, like, self-awareness is not enough to know these things, and so that's why probably saying being in tune with yourself and with your spirits is a much better expression. And you stay in tune by prayer, you stay in tune by constant communication, you stay in tune by being real and being vulnerable with yourself and with God and just with everything, that kind of thing. So yeah, then lastly, I think that just being able to grow in this area would help you in relationships too. I think it would help you see people's hearts better. It's an interesting thing, but yeah, I feel like when you are more like in tune with yourself, you tend to be more sensitive to other people. I don't know how it works. I don't know if it's a psychological thing, but it's something I've noticed that I tend to now. There's a very high possibility that I'm wrong. There's also a high possibility that I tend to be in tune with other people simply because I'm observant, and yeah. But I just think that knowing certain things about yourself would help you better relate with other people. It also would help you like set appropriate boundaries. It just helps you relate. Like I said before, it helps you do things wisely in that sense, and it helps you steward a lot of things in a better way. Yeah, I think that's something that I'm learning, just to enjoy this part of being in tune with everything that God would have me be. Just being in tune with myself, with my heart, being vulnerable with with certain things. It just helps you be more centered. It helps you be more centered. It helps you be more centered. I think so. So yeah, I think that's really all I have to say today. And I'm just going to go ahead and enjoy everything that is good in the world. That's really weird. But yeah, God is really good. God is really, really, really good. God is good. My God, I don't know how to explain it, but God is good. God is good. And I'm almost tearing up right now because God is actually really good. And I think I pray with all my heart that you enjoy the goodness of God. That the goodness of God is a testimony in your life. As per people would see you and be like, oh my God, you have experienced something good. You have experienced... I really, really pray that you experience that. I pray that in the good times and in the bad times, that the beauty of God, the wisdom of God keeps you centered. I pray that you are more in tune with all that God is working in you. I pray that you are more aware of everything that God would have you be, God would have you learn. Oh my God. I pray that you are more aware of all that God will have you learn, all that He's pruning and just making to look better, to look more like Him, to look more like His will. I pray that you're more aware of these things, that you do not fight what God is doing. I pray you are in partnership with your Father. Amen. Thank you so much, guys, for listening to this episode. I pray that I finished praying, but yes, once again, I pray that this week, whichever time you're listening to this episode, I pray this week is good for you. I pray the day is good. I pray the week is good. I pray the month is good. I pray you enjoy God. You enjoy fellowship with God. I pray you enjoy community. I pray you enjoy peace and joy in every single way. I pray you're joyful. I pray your heart is filled with joy. And I pray that, you experience God's goodness in the big ways, in the little ways, in everything, really. And I pray you laugh even more. All right. Thank you so much once again for listening to this episode. Please share this episode. Tell people about Tosin Talks. Tell them that I laugh a lot on the podcast and it's cute. Okay, I just tell them what you think is true. Don't tell them what I say. But yeah, just oh my God. Yes. So please tell people about this podcast. Share this podcast. I think you can leave a rating. To be honest, I don't know how that works, but yeah, if you have the time, you can leave a rating, you can leave a comment, or just send me comments or just feedback on how you saw this episode. Is that correct? That sounded like a Yoruba thing to say. But yeah, just just speak to me. Thank you. Bye.